are good to go. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
So, who do I have the pleasure of talking to today, by the way?
Synth Geeks.
From what?
Follow music.
Okay, nice to meet you guys. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
So, this is pretty exciting stuff for us. Oh, yeah. Nice to see you. I'm a fan.
All right.
Good stuff. So, thus begins the 50-cent tour. Only charging $2. So this is a very exciting year for us. Kronos is definitely a game changer. So what it is a music workstation with a huge, huge difference. And that big difference is that it has 9 separate synthesis engines. So my little teaser video has been playing here for a couple of weeks now. We've been building a huge amount of buzz on the internet. So it's got over 35,000 hits, something almost like 40,000 at this point. And the forums have been going crazy. If you go to korgforums.com, the page is, it's 60 pages long, full of comments. So speculating on what it is. It's all photoshops of things that they think it might be. So this is Kronos. Over there's the 61 key. And what you're looking at on the display is a 73 key. And this is the 88 key version. Both the 73 and the 88 have our RH3 graded hammer action piano keys. And all 3 of them have these 9 different synthesis engines. So in a land full of sample-based workstations, Kronos stands out because samples are just the beginning. So rather than just give you one method of creating sound, we give you quite a few. And the first one is the SGX1 acoustic piano engine. That's not it, clearly. So what you're listening to is a beautiful German grand piano that's sampled with extremely long unlooped samples, which you're still hearing. They continue to ring for an awfully long time. And this library of samples by itself is 4.7 gigabytes in size. So that's the next big game changer that we've got going on. We have gigantic sample libraries that are being played directly from an internal solid-state hard drive. So the concept of ROM, where everybody usually measures their sounds in megabytes, we just blew that spec out of the water. We have over 12 gigabytes of sound in Kronos. And that's just the samples. So in addition to that, we've got a beautiful Japanese grand piano. Same thing, notes ring out. You have control over damper resonance, mechanical noises, and other physical properties of the piano. So SGX1 is a really beautiful thing. There are 30 different piano types to choose from. Next up is our MDS electric piano. And this models tine and reed-based electric pianos. So on the display, we've got some vintage effects, and you can scroll through different ones, including a Vox wah. So these effects come straight from our SV1. And the way we create these sounds is we actually assemble harmonic content, pitch content, and mechanical noises through time in such a way that we transcend what samples can normally do. There's no velocity switching. From 0 to 127, you get a different sound every time. And that's true of whirlies, too. So we've got all these wonderful piano models, and you may have noticed I played a little Herbie there. Herbie actually had a hand in designing the sound I was playing, and all of these artists that you see here actually contributed to the voicing within Kronos. So if you see their name on a sound, it means that we designed that sound with them to their exact specification. So here's George Duke's electric piano. extra stuff going on there. That was a drum track. Drum track gives you access to almost 700 different rhythmic patterns, and many of them were played by Ricky Lawson, as you see there on the screen. Those drum sounds are another gigantic sample library that resides on the solid-state hard drive. It's not just pianos, it's a whole lot of other stuff. So, moving right along, we also include our famous CX3 tone wheel organ modeling engine. So you can see just by hitting the joystick up, I have control over the rotary speaker, and using the sliders on the front panel, I have access to the entire tone palette of an electric organ. I even have 4 imaginary drawbars that don't actually exist on the real thing, and I can customize the pitch. The rotary speaker emulation, I can decide what's fast and what's slow. I even have control over what direction the cones face when they stop spinning. It's a little obsessive, but that's kind of how we roll. So, moving along, we've already given you most things that a keyboard player needs for playing live, but we also delve deep into analog modeling. Oh, sorry, before we get there, this is how I'm selecting sounds. This is set list mode. Set list is the grand unification of programs, combis, and sequences. So right from this display, I could just touch a sound to quickly get to it. And check this out. Watch what happens when I switch from one sound to another. Nothing. It's a seamless transition. These are called smooth sound transitions. I can switch from a program to a combi to a sequence with no note dropouts and no loss of effects. And we do this without limiting the number of effects you can use or the number of sounds you can play at once. So, moving along, we go way deep into analog modeling. Korg gives you 3 different analog modeling engines to play with. The first of them is the MS-20. So the MS-20 is a recreation from the ground up, point to point, of the classic MS-20 monosynth, except now it's not monophonic. Now it's like having 48 of them at once. And that patch panel is just as fun as it looks. So as I'm playing here, all I need to do is get to my sound here. I can just touch the display and create patches from one place to another, so I can turn something into something else very quickly. Being chased by evil Pac-Man. So, in addition to the MS-20, which is known for its aggressive filters, powerful, thick sound, we've also included the Poly 6. You got the Poly 6 up there? There we go. The Poly 6 is known for its warm, lush sound, really great for pads and strings. So every knob you can just get to right from this beautiful 8-inch color touch view display, and they've all been thoughtfully mapped out to the physical controls. So there was a time when people bought synthesizers to program them themselves, and Kronos makes that fun again. So it's a very beautiful thing. And you can even layer 2 different expansion engines at the same time. So here's a combination of an MS-20 and a Poly 6. Again, with the drum track backing us up with a cool groove that's appropriate to the kind of music you might want to play with that sound. So, the synthesis tour continues with the AL1. AL1 is Korg's vision of what an analog synthesizer would be if it was designed in today's modern times. Lots of envelopes, powerful multi-mode filters, and great thick sound. Again, there's a drum track that I can get to instantly just to have a quick groove going. So listen to all that you can do with just one note on an AL1 synth. That's an awful lot for one synth. So we've given you 3 different ways to explore the beauty of analog synthesis in addition to all the other instruments that we showed you. So moving along, the rabbit hole goes even deeper. This is Mod 7. Now I suddenly want a taco. Mod 7 has its roots in classic digital synthesizers. So you may remember some synthesizers that use frequency modulation to generate their sound. Mod 7 does a similar thing. So you can actually recreate these classic instruments. But of course, we go way beyond what the original classic synths were capable of. Now, first of all, you can modulate using the interface you always wanted to make this kind of synthesis fun. So, use a patch panel just like any other modular synthesizer, except this time it's doing frequency modulation. You can even add in PCM samples and use ring modulation, wave shaping, and all kinds of other technologies to go further than you could with the original instruments. Start out life sounding like a didgeridoo, but it goes way, way beyond. Not done yet. Now we got the STR1 plugged string synthesizer. Here you design a string. You decide what it's made of, how long it is, how tense it is, and then you pluck, strike, or scrape it. And if it's an electric guitar, you decide where the pickups are. If it's an acoustic guitar, you decide how close to the sound hole it is. And if it's a sitar, you can add string dispersion. So with an acoustic guitar, and I can even add harmonics by physically altering the properties of the string. So we're not playing back samples here, we are generating this sound in real time. And of course, being a Korg synthesizer, you have to take it beyond just playing strings. Sorry, your guitar can't do that. So, next up, I bet you thought we'd save the least important one for last. This is HD1. This is our high-definition sample playback engine, and it sounds absolutely amazing. Any kind of instrument you want for any genre of music, from orchestral to hip-hop. And here's some great strings to prove it. So just with a push of a button, I can switch from legato to staccato to pizzicato, and if I want to, I can add the rest of the orchestra. So what you're hearing there is a massive 16-part copy. Now we can combine all the technology that I've shown you. We can have 16 different sounds playing at once, incorporating all 9 synthesis engines. So as you can imagine, that can get very complex very fast. And again, cover any genre you want. And those rhythms and bass lines and grooves are coming from Karma. The Karma technology that we incorporate allows us to create all kinds. Excuse me. Wow, first demo of the day and I'm losing my voice. How do you like that? So Karma gives us life and motion and lets us animate the synths as we play them. So for example, if I'm playing a guitar sound, I can do finger picking or I can strum it. There's some cool stuff. And of course, when you apply Karma in combi mode, you can do so many different things to animate the sounds. Lot going on there for one sound. So as we keep moving, Karma is just the beginning. We actually give you a whole suite of production tools. So as great as Kronos is for live performance and synthesis, it's right at home in a studio. So we've got a 16-track sequencer for MIDI, also 16 tracks for audio, and those audio tracks can be recorded at 24-bit resolution. We also give you our open sampling system, which can be used at any point. You can always sample and resample in any mode. And with this beautiful display, editing your waveforms is really a breeze. And as we move along, we've also got a very powerful effects suite. So you can use 16 different effects at once, and they are truly world-class effect processors. One thing I'd love to show you is a beautiful reverb that we've got here. And I'll call up the piano designed by Lyle Mays of Pat Metheny Group. Design the room around the piano, specify the depth, the resonance, the EQ, all the different parameters you want to create a space around the sound. So, the last thing I want to show you today is there are USB ports on the back of Kronos. There are 2 for storage, and then there's a 3rd USB port that allows you to connect to a computer. And those videos should be playing. Rather amusing that they're not. Again, first demo of the day, it'll get better. So basically, Kronos becomes your most powerful plugin. You can access all 16 synthesizers, 16 timbres, 9 synth engines at once using our included editor software. And it runs as a plugin from your favorite DAW. That USB port also transmits audio. So you can use it as a 2-channel audio interface with your Mac or PC. So I'll play you 1 or 2 more really cool sounds that I love. Again, multiple synthesis engines playing at once. Let's incorporate those beautiful grand pianos one more time. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please stick around for our other demos and enjoy the show.